All right, hi folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Today, Brad, we're going to talk about 5 steps to adjust your wheelchair brakes to prevent falls with the wheelchair. This is obviously not something to be taken lightly.
No.
If your brakes aren't holding, when you get up you could fall, or when you sit down you could fall.
Right, exactly. And one of the things that we always tell the people we work with in wheelchairs, if they haven't been in them before especially, is remember to lock your brakes and push them all the way forward so they're locked in, so that when they stand up,
You know, he's getting a little old for these pratfalls, and one of these days we're going to have a video on how to repair an acute broken hip.
Yeah, my wife gets excited about that too. But you see what happened was I actually locked the brake, but the brake got out of adjustment. So even though it's locked,
it's not holding.
It's not functioning. So we're going to go through how you go through this, adjust the brake, and get it even better than what you had it with the little adapter that we're going to show. So
before we start that though, Brad, if you are new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. Alani came back to me. We provide videos how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, please go over to the Facebook.
The Facebook, yes.
And please like us, because Brad and I were not liked as children, and now we're trying to turn it around as adults. So
I think it's working, Bob. I'm feeling better every day.
All right, good for you, Brad.
Yeah, the subscribe buttons are here or there too.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started, Brad.
Okay. Typically, this is a standard type wheelchair. Probably the majority of your, unless you got a custom one, are going to have brakes similar to this. So
the brakes slide forward and back, Brad. Is that what they?
Right, and typically they're mounted on one of the frame bars, like right here. This is so common on so many of them. But what you're going to need to do, if someone's in the chair, you can adjust them while someone's in the chair and the chair is upright, but it is hard to do.
Sure.
Get the person off the chair into bed or another chair, and just simply tip the chair over like this. Get yourself a stool like this.
I'm starting to see why you should have the patient out of the chair first.
Hey.
That probably would be a good thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, look at that. We got the cushion in there. I suppose I can push that over here. Can you zoom in it and see what we got here, Lonnie?
Lonnie's doing her best.
Okay. So here's the adjuster, and when you go all the way forward like this, you can see it's not holding the brake at all. Now, one key thing you really want to do that makes your life a lot easier is take a magic marker or a Sharpie and mark right here so you know where it is right now. Because
Gotcha.
what'll happen is when you loosen this up and it slides up and down, and then you don't remember where it was.
Right.
And then it's just not near as efficient. It saves time, makes life easier.
I've done this, so I know what he's talking about. Sometimes, luckily, there's a mark where it was.
Right, you
it's
can
so wore out. But,
exactly.
but no, that's a very good suggestion, Brad.
And if you can get yourself a socket with the proper size wrench with the proper size
It's going to make it a lot easier.
Really helps. So almost all of them back here where you cannot see, well, we can tip it this way. Right here we've got the nut. You need to get on that.
You see that, Lonnie?
To loosen that up. And I'll do it here on this side. And we'll loosen this up. And you can see now you got plenty loose. And this is where, like, if it drops down and you don't remember where it is, it's like,
right, where was my starting point?
yeah. And so I knew before, when I locked it in, it was just about touching. So I want to probably have maybe a 1/4 inch of pressure on there. It's kind of a guess. So I'm going to move it forward from that line.
A 1/4 inch closer.
Yeah, let's see what happens. And then we're going to tighten her up. There we go.
There really is no way to beyond trial and error on this. I mean,
Yep. And here, look at that.
Still too loose.
Yep, I lock it down, we're still doing nothing, so we're going to go a little further.
Brad, you may not know this, but Brad is actually quite mechanical. What was your background again, Brad?
I used to repair and fix electromechanical equipment, electric motors, gearboxes, transformers, and Did that for 10 years. So this is,
That was before he was a therapist.
Hey.
So really quite amazing.
now this is something that works out well. Now listen, if you get to the point where it goes a little click on there, that's
Usually that's a good sign.
yeah, and now this baby is locked in nice. If you go too far, you can actually bend and twist.
Well, if
the
you go too
mechanism.
far, too, a lot of people have trouble applying the brakes.
Right.
Especially without
Right.
the help.
Right, exactly. But so be careful not to go too tight. The other thing, now these are going to be hard to see. There are little bolts in here that has the linkage to hook up, and sometimes those bolts get loose. And you'll see there's gaps in here and
Yeah.
everything's just sloppy. Then you're going to want to take your wrench, and when you do that, let's do it this way. You're going to have to do each one. And at that point,
Is that got like a lock nut on there? Or
yeah, it's got a lock nut on the back, so you need a wrench. I don't have a box and wrench. I'm just going to use a adjustable wrench, and then I'm going to go twisty, twisty, twisty. And that one, these usually are not very tight because they've got, you know, a little lock nut on there that has a nylon nut, and it doesn't take a lot to overcome that. Ooh, there we
one's
go.
loose.
Yeah, two of them so far, and this one,
So there's 4 of them.
yeah. Now,
Now she's tight.
yeah, maybe a little too tight, but don't forget about the little drop of oil and the rag, because you drip your oil on there because you only need a couple drops, but sometimes more comes out than you want. Then it drips on the floor, and then you have nothing but another fall
They have
hazard.
another hazard.
Right,
Yeah.
and then people get upset with you as well. Then we're just gonna drip this on. One drippy, a drippy there. Let it go down where it belongs. Don't let it get on the floor.
I'm glad you're using the professional vernacular. Drippy, drippy.
Yeah. Vernacular, Bob.
Yeah, hey.
You've been studying.
I pulled out a big word for today.
Yeah. You want to be an English major, don't you?
Yeah, that's.
The next.
I just want to get the words out, Brad. I don't even worry about being a major.
There we go.
Oh, look how easy that goes, but yet it is really tight.
Yeah, it is.
So the oil did really make a difference, didn't it?
Yeah, the oil is, you know, it's one of the, you know, a little drop here, a little drop there. This really makes the person in the wheelchair happy. I'm going to do this one right, Bob. I'm just going to back it off a little bit. There. And I'm going to come up a little bit. And once you're here, there, that's what I want. Right there. Now, oh, it's, try it,
Perfect.
Bob.
Yeah, I can see that. I can apply it real easy, but yes, it's holding really well.
Now, if you really want the deluxe treatment, everyone out there in YouTube land, and you want the person to make it easier, now this is what I think Bob will agree. Every wheelchair,
Yeah, that should come standard.
these little 4-inch extenders should be standard, because it really, I'm not going to put this one all the way on because they're tight and we have to take that one off. But when you're sitting here, it's so much easier
Yeah.
to do that, particularly if someone's elderly, they've had a stroke, one arm is weak, they can easily work this, or if they had a stroke and this arm is not functional,
They can reach around.
reach over. And they don't cost very much, they're easy to put on.
Yeah, all you're doing is taking off the old rubber tip
Right.
and putting on the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like that one's permanent, Brad.
Yeah, no, they are supposed to be tight. And it came off. I don't know what I did with the rubber tip. Do you have that, Lonnie?
Is it on the other side? You can see it on this one.
Yeah. I gave it, Lonnie, she threw it away.
Brad always
You
loses
threw it
things.
away?
Brad
Oh.
always loses things, so.
So anyways, that's the way to properly adjust the wheelchair. Do all the little things that will make it last. It'll make the person in the chair happy and really reduce your risk for falls, because you have something that's locked in tight every time.
Yeah, they have, by the way, just as I mentioned, they do have devices that automatically lock the
Right,
chair. They're huge devices
Yeah.
though, and they hook up behind the chair.
Yep.
And like if you sit in it and you wheel it, it'll wheel. But as soon as you stop wheeling, right, and you
Well, there's more than one type. One has an arm that the one I know has. It pushes up under here. When you sit on it, it pushes that arm and releases the brakes on the back.
okay.
So the weight of your bottom on the chair releases it. When you stand up, it locks.
I see it. It locks
Yeah,
automatically. Okay.
Try to adjust those. Now that is something that's
That's a
really
challenge, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted the people out there to know that there is that that possibility that if you have someone that just does not remember to lock their brakes,
Right.
there are devices
Yeah.
that you can put on there
Right.
to because there are a lot of people like that.
Right. Yeah.
They're in a wheelchair, they still can get up, but they don't remember to lock their
Right,
brakes.
right.
So,
All right.
right.
Good point, Bob. So safety in the wheelchair. Once again,
Safety first.
Right.
remember, Brad, we can fix just about anything.
Except. There it is.
Not God, but a broken heart. I don't
Yeah.
want to point up here thinking I'm
Right.
talking about that. So, but we're working on it. All right. Thanks a lot.